Listening to BearatNight podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and non-binary, I'd just like to say this is the BearatNight podcast, and I have a special guest, uh, the one and only Colin K. Bass, the man himself, though the Power Rangers film god. Like, if you know, if you've seen any Power Ranger fan film, any matter of fact, like see Flash or Mandalorian, anything like that, and anything with like Skulls. I mean, shoot, the man, he has something to do with it. So, you know, and thank you. I just like to say thank you for joining the show,
Oh,
for
thank
hopping
you.
on. Is an honor. Um, yeah, man. It's weird because it's like been seeing your face in so many costumes over the years. So it's like, oh wow, he's here. He's actually gonna. I'm actually get to talk to this guy. So this is pretty cool though. So I thank you. I appreciate you from
Well, thank
joining
you
the
for
show.
having me. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
thanks, man. Appreciate you. How are you doing? Let's start off by how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just got home from work. We did some filming today for Anime Fire, and then some
Right.
office work to get ready for Anime Pasadena. And then last night we did a late night shoot for our new Devil Hunters short that exists within the Chainsaw Man world. So I'm good, man.
Uh,
Staying busy, staying happy, staying creative. Life is great.
okay, so dude, I gotta run off a list of. I'm trying to figure out uh how do you do all this because I knew it was just I knew some of the Power Rangers things and I know I've seen some other things and I'm like and I actually looked down and read everything. Your list is pretty deep so far, it goes deep. I mean, like, you have the what is it here? Make sure, like, you have the you- one. The thing I remember I saw first of you was the Reverse Flash.
Right.
I
Yeah.
remember that was the one that caught my attention before because with the CW Flash stuff going on, and I was trying to look up exposures stuff, and you were there, so your stuff is there. So I mean, dude, first of all, how do you even get that? Like, how do you even start that? I mean, first because it's just like you know seeing the suits online and then actually seeing somebody get to wear it, and then you actually put it to action as well too. So it's like, oh, so that's what the cow looks like, and
Mhm.
oh, you made it look good. You made it look
Thank
good
you.
because it didn't look quite, especially the cow for the Reverse Flash or the Flash. Like I didn't know because I always look at like to be authentic or whatever, or try to be like the show, and you can never tell. But then you put it on, and you actually did the work with it. It's like, all right, it doesn't look half bad. It doesn't.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
made it look good. He actually made it look good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, to answer your question, I had this idea where they were basically ways for us to do videos, get the suits, and then use them for our show. And so it all
Yeah,
started with a Green Arrow short, and they sent the season 4 suit, which is my favorite version of the suit. And then it did
yes.
well, and the costume sold for X-Coaster, and then I was like, okay, well, could we do this with Reverse Flash? So then they sent me the
Hmm.
Reverse Flash, and we did another short like that. And then I pitched to this company, Nerdbot, what if Eobard wasn't always evil? What if he was trying to be a hero like Barry? And then I had this like first version of the suit, which was X Coaster and pieces of X Coaster and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I took the best parts of X Coaster suit with some higher quality stuff so that when we did our real first episode,
Oh,
it would be like a mix and match of all the best things. And I wasn't working for X-Coaster. I was literally, making a movie. So it all started with like mix and matching, and like I kind of was weaseling my way into getting costumes and cows and boots and stuff. And then when I was like, hey, I have this suit, I have this idea, let's try it. And so we did a teaser. I was still in like my version 1 suit, as I call it.
yeah.
And then after that did well, I had the company on board, and we just started. I used that to show different costume makers, like, "Hey, I will promote you. I will rep you. I will share your page and tell people where to get this cowl or this costume and stuff." And then
Right.
X kind of started backing out of the Reverse Flash side of things. So it was all like kind of a learning experience. And then I did my best to like find ways to help this costume company out, but also I was able to write that character into Reverse Flash.
That's pretty dope because I remember seeing that part, and then actually seeing you actually doing the modeling for certain sites, and I'm like, like the season 1 Flash suits, and I believe I think you did a Green Arrow like
Dude, I did
costume
so
one.
many. Yeah,
There's a lot. Did you?
so many.
Because I've seen you're on, like on Amazon as a model. You're on Halloween.com. You're on Spirit Halloween. I'm like, you're on these these sites from wordy. So I was just like, how does that even come across to uh what is the royalties like for that? Is this anything like, how
There's none.
did you sign your life away for like,
Yeah.
yes, my likeness is here for life,
Yeah. So I worked in Star Wars product development for 6 years, and I filmed and acted on the side. And then they approached me, Ruby's costume company approached me to add
movies, yes.
modeling into what we do. And then Ruby's is like this big umbrella where they make the costume and all these different companies can sell them. Amazon, everyone you just named basically, and more. And so I would, some days I'm at the desk job doing Star Wars product development, and then some days I'm modeling and
Mm,
doing videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I signed my image away, but I loved it because everything was different. Like I'd go from like cushy desk job to no, I'm in the snow filming Star-Lord, like random stuff like that.
yeah.
And then so when I'd go to the modeling, it'd be like these buff, beautiful people, and I'm there kind of like, all right, hey, what's up? I'm kind of just like the B team, but it was so cool, and I did some really cool ones like the Flash and Han Solo, and I did some really
Right.
embarrassing ones like Minions and the poop emoji and stuff like that.
I would never understand how the poop evil like just the poop has been like a cash cow like over the
Yeah,
years.
it
Like
was the
I
playful poop emoji.
like and the thing is like I feel like South Park has been doing the poop Mr. Hinky for
Mm-hmm.
years and never got this much,
No,
exposure. And it's just like he was a cute little poop, but I guess you had to just do a little extra. I don't know, but they've been doing it first and they never got this much. It's weird. But I mean poop is just they're famous. I don't know. Um but yeah, so you've done those. Now you said you hit me with the Star Wars.
mm-hmm.
That's my heart right there. So
Oh, cool.
I love Star Wars, and I've had a known rant about the status of Star Wars right now. So tell us about that. Like
Yeah,
you
so
working on Star Wars.
I was
Like
always really, really nerdy and kind of kept it secret. But then I decided I really wanted to work in the industry. I didn't really know what. Like I loved acting and writing and being creative, but I applied for this job for Imagination Design, and they're the
hmm
ones that create the concepts for costumes, statues, accessories, everywhere that you see around
oh
the world, from like the $10 like Walmart ones to the armored Batman that's like super legit, right? Everything in between. And so
okay.
I applied for the job, and what I had for my like resume was all the superhero stuff that I've done. I'm like, listen, I know everything about this, and this, and also I know a lot about costumes. I put these together for our Young Justice fan film, and I played them the video, and I got hired on the spot. So then I became a licensing coordinator for Lucasfilm, which is Star Wars, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. Then
Yeah.
working there for a while, I started modeling for them and doing videos and promos like that. And then I got promoted to product development, where I got to pitch ideas and come up with ideas for these different costumes and accessories that are sold around the world. And then COVID hit, and it shut down the entire company. And then, but it was a blessing in disguise, because I was able to start doing acting, writing, and marketing for NerdBot and Anime Fire full time. But for those 6 years, I worked hand in hand with Lucasfilm to create these different things and model them and do videos. And like the things that you see in the store being sold were things that I was able to help create, and like pick the colors and the fabrics and the different things like that. And then that was my day job.
Wow.
Weekends I'd film and do the different things that I do now full time.
Jeez, man, talk about doing something that you love. I mean, man, that's pretty awesome. And it's funny because I originally, when I saw Nerdbot, I always put Nerdbot with you. So like, and for some reason, I thought that was your company. You're like, that was your whole thing, like Nerdbot Studios and whatnot. So coming to find out now, you joined them. So
yeah, there's a mastermind there.
Okay.
Like that.
See, I thought it was you.
No, it's not me. So I do the best I can to pitch ideas and do writing and acting and stuff. But I have a boss, an immediate boss, that is like the Wizard of Oz guy, like behind the screen, who does mastermind stuff. But he allows me. We have a good relationship where he trusts me to pitch things and make it happen, and I just need to get his blessing on things, and it usually goes over pretty well. But there's times where we don't see eye to eye. Like he was like, "Why are you doing a Digimon fan film?" I was like, "Just trust me, it'll be dope. It'll be dope." And sure enough, it does great, and we're working on it too. So there's certain things like that where I have to prove myself. But yeah, I'm not the owner of it.
Okay. And going with a good get to know now. Now let me know. There's somebody behind the curtain. Okay. The Digimon, I was fairly surprised of like the budget of like the of
$0 budget.
I mean it's just like, because you're skeptical. You're like, oh, let me see how this is gonna look. This is gonna be. That's how I always look at practice. It's gonna be practical effect. It's gonna be like a rendering. What kind of, and then to come and see it, it's like, oh, they did pretty good.
Thank you.
With the effects, I'm like, okay, you guys. It's like, it's funny because it's like, as technology grows over the years and stuff, it makes it a lot easier for folks to do it from home, or from a small group. It can be just one person in the house just creating a whole CGI world. Which like years ago would have took like a team of like 30 people, and it took months. Like I watched the Tron documentary, and it took these guys like months, almost like a year or so, and it was like a team of like 40 people, whatever, just to get that movie to be made to look like that. And then you get somebody that's like 14 in their room right now who could do that within a week, like, or less than that. It's crazy. It's crazy just to make it look like that. But how long does it take to to master the world of whatever subject you're doing, like a Digimon or like a Power Rangers or Arrowverse, or Flash, to get the story together, from the story to like locations and the whole night, getting everybody together, like taking us right like to that whole process,
Yeah.
because man, it seems like it's a lot of work,
Yeah,
honestly.
it is. It varies. There's some, I'd like to take pride in that I write around our problems or our limitations. So
Hmm.
sometimes I do a way better job of writing around things that we can't do or afford to do, and then that streamlines things a little faster. And
Right.
for Digimon, it was just the biggest puzzle piece show I've ever done in my 10 years of doing this, where all I really had was this scene with me and Agumon Digivolving, and then it did really well online, and then it was just like on social media. And then I'm doing a panel at Anime Riverside, and I have Brian Donovan, who plays Davis, and Blackboard Greymon, who's Lex Lang, and Brian Beacock, who's Takato. And I'm kind of just like, yeah, we did this, and I play it, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool if you guys reprised your roles. And they're like, yeah, we're down, of course. And then that my head
Wow.
clicks, and I was like, I have to make this happen. This is like my childhood dream come true. I'm gonna be
Exactly.
co-starring with people I watch my entire life, right? So then I go to our VFX artist, Jerry, bless his heart. He's so talented and patient. And I start coming up with this idea to piece together all these different things for the digital multiverse. And so, like, what started as just like, yeah, it'd be cute if we did a little Agumon scene for, like, because we love Digimon. Then it became this whole episode with the stars from the original show reprising their role. So to answer your question about that, that was the most random, sporadic thing that I just tried to turn into like a full-fledged episode. So that
Right.
timeline is just, it's like the spaghetti in the Flash, right? It's all over the place. So I can't answer
Yeah.
that. But when it comes to like a straight up streamline, let's talk Power Rangers Shattered Past. That was
Right.
one day of filming and like a few weeks of editing, and we popped it out, and it's at like 900,000 views. So it's really, really different every single time. And then from Shattered Past, I want each episode to be bigger and bigger than the last one. So that's why this finale is taking forever, because I'm trying so hard to make it bigger and better and include more, and like making this the best finale it can possibly be. So to answer your question, after that ramble,
It's all
it's
right, good.
super inconsistent, and I do my best to get things out as quick as they can, but we're at the mercy of scheduling and VFX and stuff like that. But I always do my best to write in a way where I know that we can get this done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, because I mean, the main thing is time. Making sure you have enough time to do things, live your, and plus just to live your own life,
Sure.
and finding your personal time, and and everybody has to pay rent, everybody has to pay bills, so you gotta have time for that. But um, it's a testament just to show your motivation, to keep going, and like, okay, I'm tired. I work this many hours, and I gotta do this with the missus, or I gotta walk the dog, I gotta go grocery shopping, but I still gotta write this,
Yeah.
last bit of dialogue here. Did you have moments where you got writer's block too? That's
Yeah, sure.
that happens too, but you still persevere to try to put out a product, and so maybe this is a good thing, and maybe also a bad thing. You know, um, since it is under your own thing, your owner brother, you don't have an exact time crunch of like a Marvel thing. Like,
Mhm.
okay, we got this, we're gonna have this week, and then 3 months from now we're gonna have it this second part, and then 3 months from then the third part. You don't have that time. You put it out when you know it's ready, and it is perfect.
Yeah, we
And the
try to,
fans are there. The fans are gonna be waiting.
yeah, we try to line it up with convention releases, because it's really fun to have like premieres and stuff like that.
Right.
And right now, since we like rebranded as Anime Fire, we don't really have a consistent series that we're trying to like keep releasing episodes. We're trying
Hmm.
different, seeing what sticks. I mean, I'm very blessed with the success and the opportunities that Power Rangers had. But now that
Hmm.
Shattered Past is coming to an end, I'm gonna still do my best to release that. But like for Anime Fire, we're still seeing what people want to see, and I was
Hmm.
very, very grateful that people dug Digimon. So I'm trying to do. I have DigiDestined episode 2. The first official film date is this coming Saturday. So like I'm doing my best
Nice.
to like keep that going. But then at the same time, we're in a very creative like team where everyone kind of is just like, well, we don't really have like our flagship show. Let's keep trying
Hmm.
new things. So that's like where we're at right now. And we're doing original content. We're doing live action anime. We're doing talk shows, different things like that.
Hmm.
So you're absolutely right. We don't have like a release schedule, because we're still seeing like what people want to see and what works.
Oh yeah, and I think you definitely have to put feelers out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when music artists, I don't know if they still do, but I know
EPs and
from,
stuff.
huh?
EPs. They drop EPs
Yeah,
to see, like, what's up.
well, like if they want to know what type of music people are listening to,
Mm.
yeah, they go to the clubs, and listen, like, oh, what are people liking right now? Let's go to a few clubs and see what's the trend, what's out there, what people are liking, and then they're like they'll look at that, and see what's getting people to move, and then they go to the studio and create, and then you have your hits and misses, that happens, and like you see what people like, you see like Digimon, you see Power Rangers, unless you do something, and then you see what the audience thinks of it, and
Mhm.
then okay, people like this more, maybe people like this more, and then you might have your flagship after a while, like because you might see there's a higher number for certain things. You're like, okay, let's keep putting this out and
Exactly.
see what happens, and I mean, it's I mean, it's a battle. It's work, but eventually you get there.
Yeah.
But you have a catalog
Hmm.
already that shows you've been putting in the work, you put in the time and effort, putting these hours in and creating, period. No
Hmm.
matter the subject matter is, you're just creating, and people look at that like, oh, I wasn't into this, but I like this, or you might get people into a Flash, so
Yeah.
show just by watching your series, or Power Rangers. Somebody who wasn't, there's a lot of people who are, I've never watched Power Rangers besides Mighty Morphin, but they like your series,
Yeah.
so that does happen, and um, you go into the next step, and you're going into the next step of what you're doing right now with the Digimon and whatnot. So I would love to see what's next. You like what you guys, what you're doing. Um, do you like do you sit down on a computer and just start typing, or do you like you go out to like a park and start writing? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you get yourself in that creative spirit, that mindset to like, okay, right now I'm gonna write.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in it.
I guess it depends on the project again. Like I pretty much have always known how I wanted Shattered Past End. So back, I mean, rest in peace, Jason David Frank. But back before
Hmm.
he, uh,
Yes.
you know, took his own life, I had this script ready to go, and I was going to do something really different. And then because JDF did that, and again, rest in peace. No, no, I don't want to sound rude or anything, but because he did that, was it affected the script so much that I had to go back and
Hmm.
rearrange things and change the entire ending because I thought it was really distasteful to do anything to Tommy Oliver's character, even if it's Draken. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
that one, I'm still like puzzle piecing together. We have a lot filmed, but some of it's not usable because it was all based around Sam actually taking out Draken. But now I don't feel comfortable doing
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
that's like a beast of its own, but I'm figuring it out. And then we just did a Chainsaw Man live action, and I sat down and I watched all of the first season, and I wrote the entire first episode and like the big story arc, and I did
Right.
it in like multiple days, and then I turned it into the executive producer. He has changes, blah blah blah, and then I go back and make those changes. And I always write this way. I always write, what would I want to see as a fan?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like the Shattered Past aspect, I've always wanted to see these connected seasons connect. And then for
Hmm.
Rise of the Ninja and First Ninja, I'm like, why didn't they ever connect all the different ninja seasons? That's fascinating, right? So my way of
Yeah.
like, I sit down, I do go on a computer, I watch the source material, I read every single page of the Wikipedia, I do as much research as possible so that I can grab every single Easter egg possible, and then
Right.
what I would want to see as a fan of this series. And for DigiDestined, I was like, man, those first four seasons were such a big, important part of my life. I want to find a way to connect them. So digital multiverse. So I sit down and I do my best to like start typing, but I'm always like, what do I want to see? And sometimes I type just bullet point ideas, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I want this to happen. I want this to happen. And then it's a matter of like, can we do it? How do we do it? Et cetera, et cetera. But for Chainsaw Man, I didn't really know the source material. It was literally a
Hmm.
work assignment from my executive producer. He was like, I want you to write a Chainsaw Man short that exists within America, and it's about the Gun Devil,
Hmm.
and you write it. And I was like, dude, I don't even like Chainsaw Man. Sorry, I just did. Then And I was like, I don't think I'm the guy for the job. He's like, you want to be a writer, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is your job to write Chainsaw Man. So I watched every episode. I read every Wikipedia. I got spoilers from the manga,
Right.
stuff like that. And then I dove in a very, very different way where I came in as not a fan, but then I turned into a fan by the end of it because I wanted to see this story. And when we were filming last night, I felt so proud of like the team and how we really took one nugget of this world that has, you know, devils and demons and fiends and stuff, and we took that nugget, planted it, and turned it into something so different and so cool that made me become even more of a fan. So it all varies, but like I've gone in like head first as a fan of, you know, Digimon and Power Rangers or Reverse Flash, and again that was something I wanted to see. I love the anti-hero story and like what made I'm evil. And then when it comes to Chainsaw Man, I was like, this is work. I got to do it. And then by the end, I was like, no, I like Chainsaw Man. This is sick. I'm with it.
You by doing the work, you actually became a fan.
Exactly.
You know, which is funny because you like you didn't like it, but you like, okay, it's work. Then you fell in love with it. So it was like, that's kind of a cool situation because now it's your turn to somebody who felt the same way. They still watch your product, and you're like, okay, this is badass. Let me just go and check out Chainsaw Man.
Exactly.
You know, let me, and it in turn you keep the cycle going. You know, I just had an idea. You can take it if you like. You know, Chainsaw Man versus Ash, Evil Dead.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying.
Chainsaws would be hard to do, man. Like,
it would be hard, but still. I mean, it has all the demons, demonic thing. You have a Necronomicon. I mean, I'm just saying, it could be something. It could be something. I just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out to the universe. You know, just saying, just saying. Now, when you how you get the actors on like Power Rangers or whatnot, the Shadow Pass and whatnot. That was one of the biggest things that surprised me about your series. Like you like Hector Sutherland and whatnot showing up, and just like, holy shit, he how did he pull this off? Like, you know, it's some of the guys, some characters, some actors that you haven't seen in years. You know,
Maggie the Defender was a big one. Russell Lawrence.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it all started with William Schufelt, Ninja Steel Red. I met him when I was at the studio with ATO, who just recently. And I didn't really go in expecting anything. I was just kind of, I want to meet this guy.
Shout out to ATO.
I was doing, shout out ATO, the homie. I was doing First Ninja at the time, just First Ninja. So I don't even think Shattered Pass existed yet. I'm not sure though. And I was just kind of shooting the shit with Will. And we got along really well, and we were like, dude, we should work together on something. We just didn't really know what. And then we met for just like coffee or something, and I kind of got him in the mindset of like, dude, come back as Brody. No Nickelodeon rules, no nothing. We'll make it super dope. And if anything, let's put a little trailer, see if people care. And so we did the trailer with him and Ninjor, and we like teased that like all the ninja seasons are connected, and did really well. So then he got really on board, and then through Will, Jessica Ray, White Wild Force got involved, and David Billy from
that was a huge surprise for me, honestly. That when I saw her, the white in the white Ninjetti outfit, it was like that. It fits. It fits.
Yeah. Dude. I had a big plan. Unfortunately, Rise is not continuing because Will and Jessica moved away. But my big plan that the connection was because of her martial arts training with her father, and the fact that she's like her character was a student turned teacher. It makes sense to study all the ancient texts and stuff of being a ninja ranger, and then that would lead to her becoming the new White Ninjetti. But that, never came to fruition. But I still was really proud of what we did with Rise of the Ninja.
It came out well, yeah.
Getting the returning Rangers, it was all kind of like word of mouth. Will was a big snowball effect that got more and more people involved. And then we did Bloodline. Bless DJ Art. He wanted me to play Future Sam in there. And then I went in there and just kind of like, didn't expect anything, but also was like, man, I'd love to have you cameo in Shattered Past. We could connect this. and Shattered Past was already established, and it would bring viewers into Bloodline, and then that's what
Mm-hmm.
created the Power Rangers Extended Universe, and it all became us all trying to help each other and like expand the lore, right? And then it led to just kind of older Rangers seeing the trailers and stuff and following Crimson Vision Studios. And I would go to
Right.
Crimson Vision Studios like, hey, I loved you in this, blah, blah, blah. Would you ever be interested in this? I promise to do justice by your character. I'll get the script
Mm-hmm.
approved by you. Make sure you do it. And so Russell comes to set, and I was so stoked because I loved Magna Defender. And he's like, you can call me Mike, and shakes my hand. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then that led to us getting multiple panels and a booth at Morphicon, which was a dream come true.
Wow.
And everyone really, really well there. Like we were in the canon. And then when I would talk to Rangers, they would know who I was, and they would confirm that they're down to be in it. And then I would just follow up. So it was all just kind of like, they had a good experience on it, and then it would connect to different Rangers wanting to get involved.
Right.
I think it helps their popularity too. And, you know, resurgence of this character coming back would probably help them at conventions and stuff. So it was all like a really like, let me help you, we help each other. And
Exactly.
I always made sure that they liked what we did with the script. And then DJ and Christopher Kim and Lee on Bloodline are just grabbing everyone, which is super, super cool to see, especially when I had a scene with Justin Nemo, the In Space Silver Ranger. I was like, this is awesome. If I could tell like past Colin this, he would freak out, right? And so it's just a matter of like getting that one, them having a really great experience, the product being, or the project visually being good and storytelling, then they hear about it, ting, 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 ting. And now we're like 15 or 16 returning Rangers and voice actors deep. It's crazy.
That's amazing. I will say I love that trench coat though. The Nemo wore. I was like, I need to make one of those.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. That was
for sure.
It was great. And Nemo, he's a really, really dope guy, really nice guy.
So
I got to talk to him for a little bit longer. I talked to him longer than expected. At Kineticon here a couple years ago.
Cool.
And it was cool. It was really cool. And it was one of those things like, I'm literally talking to this guy longer than like 10 minutes right now. Because I'm not sure if he's come to the time, but I am, because I'm like, this is really cool. And I'm like how you say, if I could talk to myself from years ago as a kid, like this is really happening right now. This is really dope. Amazing person. And Chris and DJ. Like I talked to them a couple weeks ago, on the pod. I mentioned that this is like seeing like Shattered Past, seeing Bloodline. It gives the actors a second chance to do these characters the way they feel like they didn't do as great before because probably they were super young, and some of them might be better actors now, and they learned a lot, and some like feel like, no, I didn't like, I always wanted to do this with this character. They get a second chance to do that, and it's like, see what you're doing is in Bloodline and others do their thing. It gives these actors a second chance to really show up and show out, and be like, and be seen and like, damn, I didn't know this character was that badass. It's like you saw little moments on the show that was there, but now they get to really express it, and do it. And it's like, man, this is really dope to see these. And plus, also you get to see these faces that you knew growing up. So I mean, like you said, like seeing Nemo and keep seeing Captain Sutherland and the list goes on. It's like, dang. So this is what happened with this character years ago, or seeing Mike. By the way, he was dope. One of my favorite characters. I love Magna Defender as a kid. I had the sword, the whole thing, and to see him back in this role, had the jacket and everything. It was like he just didn't lose a step.
Yeah,
he didn't lose a step.
And
great. If anything, he just seemed more cooler than before. And like the whole thing of, trying to find a new Magna Defender is like, I would love to see this story too. Like, can we do one just of this? Like, just of this, because once again, it gives this character a new life, something else for you to want to follow. Like even if it's like in a comic form or a digital comic or whatever, if you can, shoot, I'll just do a table read of just wanting to hear what happens.
That's dope.
So it's just like by you guys doing that, it's like doing the Lord's work again, giving these guys a chance, giving these actors a second stab at doing what they did before, and having fun with it. And you can tell you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would love to be on set
Oh, it's
just to
great.
be in the element. just just to be in the element of everybody having a good time. It could be hot and all that stuff, but just you having fun. That's the main thing. Um, and I asked this before uh, to any ranger, and you have suited up.
Hmm.
How did you feel the first time actually like putting on a suit, putting on putting the helmet on? How did it feel?
Yeah, so my first time being a ranger was the first episode of First Ninja, and I was
Hmm.
Jackson's first morph, and my whole sequence wasn't even supposed to be in the episode, but I got the suit in time, so we added it. But
Right.
I filmed the big ending morph sequence with Danny. Shout out Danny, Surf Rat Surfer from We the Geeks of East LA. And I was like so excited to morph, right? And I remember going, "Hey, can we like just do one right now?" I'm like, "Ready, ready!" And I go, "Ninja!" And my voice cracks because I was so excited, and it was so funny and embarrassing. But so I go, "Ninja Storm, Ranger form, ha!" And that was supposed to be the end of the entire episode.
That's
Then
it.
I get the suit in time, and I put
Right.
the suit on, and I can't really see myself. And I'm like, I've never really worn. I didn't have the hood. There's a lot of things I would have done differently, but I put it on, and then I take like a selfie of me and the director, and I was just like, holy shit! I played Reverse Flash for 8 or 9 episodes or something.
Right.
I was kind of like, yeah, it's my own thing, and I love playing him. But there's something about being a ranger and seeing that like
Hmm.
morphing sequence that's just so different from like hearing your suit, right?
Yeah.
So I see myself in the suit and I'm like, this is awesome. But then I'm in the helmet and I'm like, this is horrible. I hate the helmet. Then I see the finished episode with the morphing sequence where the sky's all around me and there's a tornado
Yeah.
and I'm like, Ninja Storm, and then I'm like, power of air. And I go, holy shit, this is like a dream come true. I've always wanted to see myself with super speed. I've always wanted to see myself with a morphing sequence and
Yeah.
Digimon. So like I'm like checking off all my childhood like list. But then the Omega Ranger was something completely different because there wasn't any like source material, right? Because
Right.
we only saw that little
He was
glimpse
a
of Barry
sprite.
3D.
Yeah, he was just a sprite and everything
Yeah.
too the whole
And
time.
so, but I had felt a real connection to Sam because we were on episode 4, and then we had like
Hmm.
built this series that was doing like the best views, and we were kind of growing each episode. And in the actual episode, we had just defeated the big bad. We took down Psycho Green, and DJ and I are standing there together, and he hadn't morphed yet either, even though he was doing Bloodline.
Mm.
And we had this moment
Right.
where we like looked at each other, and he improved. He's like, this right here, like right now, what's happening, this means that things can change or something like that. And I'm there looking at
Right.
it, I'm just like, hell yeah. And so we stood up and we're like up to here in our necks, and then we look at each other and we're just like, dude, we're morphing, bro. We're morphing. Yeah, we're like hugging, we're all hyped. But then it came to the full CG sequence where we both morphed together. And
Yeah.
that was the most hype I've ever been because not only was it a custom morphing sequence for both of us, it was the first
Right.
time we had ever morphed as these characters 4 episodes in. So to answer the question, on top of all that, with Jackson, it was really special. I had a great time. It was like a checklist. But with Sam and my scene with DJ, it's so funny. We joke about this. I swear that scene made DJ and I better friends in real life because we had
Oh,
a moment
wow.
bonding experience. And when that
You
came
shared
out,
a you shared a moment. Yeah.
we did, yeah. And like, dude, we morphed. We morphed with our own
Yeah.
a custom ranger morph, custom everything in a show that we love and we are proud of.
Hmm.
It was just a dream come true, and I can't wait to morph again.
I kid you not. I was waiting for you to morph into the Omega Ranger. The whole time I was like, can we still just on bits and pieces, like with the arm, like you had the Go Ranger glove, and then and whatnot. And then you guys, you had so many. It was just I thought at first like, is this just gonna be an arm thing? Is
Yeah,
this it just he has a different weapon because it's like a miniature Ben 10 situation going on? Because I really want to see the suit right now.
yeah,
And then when it happened, and I was like, oh shit, like I rewatched it. I played it over because I'm a fan of the morphic sequence of Power Rangers, you know.
me too.
And I love how like they sometimes take forever
Yeah, me
to
too.
and I love how some people are doing like reaction videos as like the bad guy.
Right. The flashing
It
lights.
is yeah, it's just waiting like okay, it's been like 3 hours and you're done. Okay. Um, but I thought it was so cool that you guys did it. You pulled it off. Put it off really well, really well, and the suits was great. And I was like, I was satisfied. I was like, he's finally the Omega Ranger.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, fuck yes, yes, we finally got it. And I was a fan of the Omega Ranger because it's like he was cool looking. Honestly, he was dope. I
He's a
wish
great
we
dude.
got the like. I will say you're the only besides the actor that you saw in one moment
Mhm.
for like a second. You're the only actor as that ranger that's been walking around more than a second,
Yeah, right.
doing everything. So, um, but seeing you with the suit, it was like, okay, this is worth it. It was like that one moment in watching Daredevil,
When
like
you get
you had to
yeah,
wait to the very last episode
yeah.
to get
I
to
didn't
the
want to do
suit.
that. I didn't want to do that to you guys, but it was really like I started the show, didn't expect for people to like the story so much, and then
Right.
like we did Ep Zero, and I was like, wow, 100K, what the? Then episode one, I was like, okay, I can buy a little bit of time. Meanwhile, I'm
Hmm.
buying the suit, I'm buying the helmet. I'm at the mercy of these makers. And then episode two,
Yeah.
all right, I'll at least do the morphing sequence. Omega Access, SPD emergency, and then Psycho Green explodes. Then three, I was like, I can't morph because Draken will find me. And I was like, all right, I put it off long enough. I'm morphing it and I'm fighting Draken, and that's where Ep 4 came. And
I
then
I like it.
five, I was, kind of lost in time, but I was like, okay, even though I can't morph, I'm gonna have the dopest reveal of my new morpher, and it was given to me by
Hmm.
the Magna Defender. So I hope the fans
Right.
like that. I did my best to take care of them, but I was definitely at the mercy of waiting for all the costumes and props and stuff.
You know what? You did something that people have done for ages. You made do with what you got.
Hmm.
You worked around the main problem that you have. Like you want to get the suit, but how do we work around it till we get to that? Sometimes you don't see the big bad into the movie to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So you had to work around it. You had to create the fear and then have the music and
Hmm.
do all those things to get to that point where you do see the big bad. You do see the evil space alien or whatever the case may be. And people have done it for a long time. Some people didn't have the budgets. That's why like what Jaws is so famous for the way it is because most of the time you never even saw the shark until like the very end because they
True.
had so many issues with the mechanics of it, so they just had to work around the issue until they got to the very end, and then you got what you got, but that build up was there,
Hmm.
and that's what you did. You built it up till you got to that episode, and it was worth it. Honestly, it was worth it.
Thank you, man.
Chef kiss. It was worth it.
Thank you.
That's how I feel about it. Um, and who, by the chance, who made the suits and the helmets?
The suit was by acgcosplay.com, and they're amazing. They do
Okay,
work, and they had an Omega Ranger suit, but I was very, very picky about the colors and everything, and they made
right.
exactly what I asked for. They were great, and I love them very much. And
They
then,
did the ninja suit, right?
yeah,
Yeah, the
they
out.
did the Ninja Academy suit too, and I think we love each other because they take care of me, and then I think that I've helped
Nice.
business a lot too because I always try to promote them. And then the helmet was from Transform Studio, and that
Mm.
is way more comfortable than my Red Ninja Storm helmet. So I'm much happier in my
So
Omega.
you could breathe. So you could breathe
I
in it.
I can breathe, but also like the Ninja Storm helmet's like tight everywhere. The Omega Ring,
Oh,
because of this little fin back here, I have a little more room right here, but
wow.
it's just way better. And I've done full full episodes in both, and I still think Omega was more comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. It is a cool ass outfit. Costume is really badass, honestly. You know, what is your favorite series of Power Rangers though?
My
Over the years.
absolute favorite's Dino Thunder, and I always wanted to do something Dino Thunder, but then I was like, I wanted to do something that hadn't been told. And when
Hmm.
First Ninja was coming out, I was like, man, I think Power Rangers can be so cool outside of the spandex and rubber monsters. So I did a lot of research. I was like, man, I always loved Ninja Storm because they're ninjas, they're elementals, and I could connect it to
Yeah.
everything else. So Ninja Storm was what I chose to do, but Dino Thunder's my number one.
Okay. Okay, I got you. All right. In Space is my number one, so I
Space is
always
great.
have to put
That's dude, I
it
love In Space
in
too.
Space. It's one.
When I got to come back as Sam and film with Andros, I was just like, I remember walking up and be like, this is awesome. Like, no matter what happens
Yeah.
with, my job or the views or whatever, you gotta just appreciate the fact that you're a co-star with someone that you watched growing up. And not to mention Chris and I have become good friends since then. And like he was
Nice.
birthday party. Like we're homies, and it's just so cool. And I love being a part of it, even if it's just from the extended universe world.
I mean, I have not met a Power Ranger fan that I didn't like. So matter of fact, it was a guy just recently that I thought like, oh man, you're annoying, and then I found out he's a Power Ranger fan. I'm like, shit.
I like him.
I think I like you now. Like, like one of my closest friends who was my supervisor, and I thought he was a jerk. And then come to find out, he was like, we're sitting there working. He's bringing out he has Transformers toys. It's like okay, and me trying to hide my nerdness about everything, and then I just happened to mention something about Power Rangers, and then he just mentioned, oh yeah, I got some Megazords, and like you got Megazords? He's
Mm-hmm.
like, he get, oh, I have this Megazord, I have this Megazord, and this Megazord. And then I'm like, are you a Power Rangers fan? And he's like, don't tell nobody. But yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are we becoming best friends? I
Yep.
think we are. I think we are. It just happens. It's just a natural progression that happens. Man, so what do you see you know, this whole thing in the next few years? Like, how do you see it? Like in the next, well, 5 years from now. Like, how do you see everything?
Well, I mean, there's the talk about superhero fatigue, right? But really, there's
Right.
also the lack of quality. You could go back and forth with that. But I see the same stores from the people that would make fun of nerds now selling anime gear, superhero gear,
Oh
everything.
yeah.
So I believe that the big next movement is going to be the westernization of anime. So like live action anime or dub coming out before the sub, things like that. I really think that anime is the next movement, and I'm blessed to be in an industry where it
Yeah.
is my main job. But I do think Power Rangers itself is going to get a big defibrillator and probably be revived. And whatever they do with the reboot, I
Yeah.
get new fans because it seems to me like they know what they're missing, and that's appealing to more than just kids. So I do see that happening. And then
Well,
with me,
yeah. Yeah.
what I do, like I've been doing Power Rangers content since 2019, I believe. I think it was 2019. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of everything we've done and all the friendships I've made and opportunities that have come from. So, as for me, I'm going to put a bow on it. I'm not going to stretch it out for too long, but I have the utmost faith in DJ and Chris for Bloodline continuing the legacy of
Right.
the extended universe. But as for
They're
like
gonna knock it out the park.
the entertainment industry, I really see us leaning more towards anime because I see it in like Gap and like you know
Mm.
Pac Sun and stuff. It's just everywhere. And video games, I do think that with the success of Super Mario Bros, we're going to see a lot
Right.
more video game adaptations, whether it's still animated or live action. But I think that we've been in this crazy Marvel DC superhero
Oh
world
yeah.
2009 when Iron Man 1 came out, and now we're kind
Right. Yes.
of, all right, I'm ready for something new. So I do believe that the future maybe my future, but also the future of the entertainment industry within the next 5 years will be anime and video games, and that's my guess.
Now, do you think, because I feel like anime has been getting like the short end of the stick when it comes to live action,
Yeah,
and it just hasn't been all that great. And it's just like, and I would say that like not even just like past few years, but like God, I mean, you have some stuff like I was just talking to someone, I was just talking on the last part about Guyver. You
uh,
know, I love Guyver Dark Hero. That's like when I watched first both of them, but you know, from a manga to anime to live action, it was really great, especially Dark Hero with the source material. But it just never got up there, and it, for like the popularity and everything else too, as it
yeah,
should have, I think. But do you have stuff like Death Note, and it just none of those really tr- you know transition well to the public from the manga to the anime to now this live action format.
yeah, but you could say the same thing about superhero movies too, because it's not like the
Oh yeah.
years before the MCU started. It's just a matter of figuring it all out. But I'm one of those people that go in very, very open minded, and like there are really bad live action animes. Dragon Ball Evolution hurts me whenever I think about it.
Oh,
I'm one of the
oh
weirdos.
God.
I'm one of the weirdos that like the Death Note live action. Detective Pikachu was awesome. I'm
I
re
love
I
Pikachu.
like
I thought it was great.
like all those different things. I think that it's just a matter of us, the entertainment industry, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And you remember back in like the early 2000s, there was some weird, obscure Marvel movies coming out just to keep the
The IPs,
contracts and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. So I was just like, dude, yeah, you're absolutely right. It has not gotten the best reception, but they're learning each time what works and what doesn't. And I
yeah.
believe that we're on the cusp of some really good live action anime.
Now, like looking behind you, do you think it's possible that My Hero Academia can translate into a live action, like with all the quirks and everything?
I
Can
think
it work?
a smaller story could work. Like a smaller, like that's what we try to do over on Anime Fire. We take an aspect from an anime and then turn it into like a bigger story that we're in control
Hmm.
of. But man, if you're about to, do you watch My Hero? Have you seen it all?
Yes.
Okay, so like if you're about to do a My Hero movie about their big class band project or whatever, no,
Right.
it's not gonna work. But if you're like All Might kind of origin story, I'm with it. So, like
Yes.
that kind of stuff
Yes.
work. But
Right.
also it's a little overcrowded if there was to do
Hmm.
one or something. So I think it's possible, but the thing is, adapting an anime and doing it like shot for shot, bit for bit is never going to work. You got to grab a
Right.
piece of it and build off of that. And I think that's where the success was with Detective Pikachu. It wasn't Ash collecting all the Pokemon and blah blah blah. They grabbed one thing that worked, which is Pikachu and the Pokemon,
Right.
and built a brand new story around it. And I think that's what I
Hmm.
like. That's what I'm hoping for, like the new Avatar that's coming out. I hope it's not just like recreation of book one. And then for the One Piece, I tried the anime One Piece and I just didn't like it. But I'm
Yeah.
rooting for this live action because it's going to be something different and cool. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but the actors reacting to the trailer. Did you see that video? Oh man,
No,
Luffy's like his eyes are watering up. He's watching himself as Luffy, and it's just the most wholesome
I'm gonna have
content.
to check it out.
Wow, man, it's great.
See, because I've tried to watch One Piece like yourself, but when I saw the trailer, it got me wanting to watch it. I saw the trailer
And
and like, okay, this like is looks pretty like knowing from what I did see from the anime and whatnot over the years, and they seen the trailer like, okay, that looks pretty legit right
yeah,
there. That's
no, I'm with
looks
you.
good. That looks good.
Open minded, go in and like. There's
Even
some.
Cowboy Bebop, same thing too.
I liked Cowboy Bebop. I did.
Yeah, I like the look of it. I love it. You know.
And like I think that anime has been a close part of our hearts for so long that we feel very protective of it, which is fine. But that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you should bash the new shit. Like I think
Right.
if anything, we've had this like kind of like not secret, but like kind of like yeah, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and Beyblade and stuff like that. And then for it to go more and more mainstream, you're kind of like,
Hmm.
all right, just don't mess it up, though. Don't mess it up, though. When we should really be like, hey, if this brings in people like us that saw this
Right.
content and you want to check out the original, isn't that all what we want? It's like for people to love what we,
True.
right?
I feel like the fans could either make or break something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I would say some fandom can be just ridiculous at
Yeah,
times, to the
agreed.
point you don't even want to be a fan no more because of the fandom.
Yeah,
But then sometimes the fandom can do good, and like if it wasn't for fandom being being reactive to like Sonic the first time we all saw it,
it's a good
it's like,
point.
no, you got to go back and fix that. No, we want you to fix it, and they did, and then you got a better Sonic.
We got great Sonic. I love Sonic.
And I loved it, and I loved it, and even like how you talk about the Pikachu, I was so against it at one point
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, why is it Detective Pikachu? What's going on? And then I loved it when I watched it.
Great.
I loved it. It was great. Like just everything, the effects, everything was great. I fell in love with it. So it gave me hope for future projects.
Me too.
So I'm still hoping that we get a good Dragon Ball.
Me too, man. Me too.
Like at least a Dragon Ball. Give me just Dragon Ball. Let's focus on just Dragon Ball. Give us a Kid Goku. I just want that. Just focus on that. Don't go to Z or Super. Just Dragon Ball. I'd rather that. Give us little Goku and Nimbus. I'm fine with that. St- Give us a slow burn
Mhm.
um man, I don't want to hold up too much of your time, but I appreciate you for being a part of the show, man, so much. Um, man, where can people find you to like in, for the whole shebang? Because you're doing so much, and
Yeah.
it's like from what you do, it's like, hey, how do he does it? Like, how do you manage to make sure you eat? Like,
Oh,
like how do you
well,
like
first of
how?
all, thank you for having me on. It was really fun talking to you, and you're a really cool guy. So thank you so much.
Me
Um,
too.
you can find me on a few different places. Nerdbot, Crimson Vision, and Anime Fire is kind of like where all of our main projects are. But I'm
Hmm.
pretty active on Instagram at Colin K Bass. And then if you want to like get a full catch up on everything that I've done, you can go to IMDb, and then it has like lists of all the shows that I've acted.
Yeah, it's
But
extensive.
yeah, man, for me, it's just a matter of like I don't want to like stop doing this and regret that I didn't do enough. So I'm always trying to pay homage and love the fandoms that made me who I am today. So I'm always trying to do more. And I'm 32, and I always compare myself to
Wow.
Green Arrow. He was 31 when he became Green Arrow, and he kicked ass for 9 years. And so I'm
Hmm.
32, and I've had my fair share of fight scenes and like really cool moments that I've always wanted. But my time's running out, so I'm trying to do as much as I can while I can. And I have an amazing, amazing team that believes in whatever ideas I bring to the table. And I'm very blessed to have these friends that will just kind of follow and believe in my ideas. So it's really me getting it started, and then I can't do much when it's in post production, right? I'm not an
Hmm.
editor, so while that's being edited, I'm like, hey, we could do this, and I go over and do something else, which is why my list of different things that we've done is so long, because while something's being edited, I'm lucky enough to have a team that can get the next project started while this is being edited. So I'm
Right.
very, very blessed and grateful for the team and the friends and coworkers that I've accumulated over these 10 years of doing filmmaking. So it's definitely thanks to them. And shout out to my amazing patient girlfriend who knows how much filmmaking satisfies me, and like it's my favorite thing in life. So she's very
Hmm.
understanding of like, oh, you get to film on Saturday? Okay, no, you good luck, have fun, and then
Oh.
even will come to set and do photography. So I'm very blessed with that too. And then also, I was just lucky enough for my day job to line up with filming. So there are some days where I need to be in the office or I need to be at a convention,
Yeah.
and then there are days where my boss is like, okay, you're filming all day Saturday, right? And then Sunday you can come in, different things like that. So it's all just the people around me that allow me to do what I do, and so much of it. So big thank you and shout out to all of them.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I would like to say, you're not winding down by any chance. Like even though you're 31, you're not. It's not winding down. You're going up. I feel like you know you're like you just about to hit that mark where you're about to be like on a roll even more. Like you're not even winding down. You're not. If anything, it's a building up. It's a build up to that one moment. You know that you like you hit that mark like that George Lucas moment. You know you're
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
it's nowhere going down. It's going up. So it's like you're still young. So it's like most people don't get there. What's it like for like I would say I'm a big wrestling fan.
mm,
So a lot of wrestlers don't get into their prime years of wrestling where they just know every single move of the ring. Like they know every way around the ring. They can like tell the other opponent what to do and without hurting each other
right.
and like be a king of the ring. And most of those people don't get to that moment until they hit their 40s.
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to
You
do as
know,
much while I can.
so I mean, yes, you got a long way to go, bro. You
Thank
got
you.
you still getting started, bro. You and at the point at this point right now, it's like it's shocking how good that you are right now, and and what you're producing and whatnot. It's like I just see so many bigger things going to happen. It's
I really
like
appreciate that. Thank
it's
you.
just like I can see like who knows, maybe Netflix somewhere down the line see one of the shows and be like, who is this guy? Like who knows? Let's give this guy a deal. So
Yeah.
we need more creative minds like yours. Just to be out there and do more for the people. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So you're there. You're on the ride up. You're just on that roller coaster going up before it goes down to all the good stuff, to
Thank
even
you.
more good stuff. So you know, nowhere winding down. You're not there yet. Nowhere. You're just starting, bro. You just
Still got
started.
still got some bite left in me. Still got some.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got a whole lot left for the tank.
Yeah. Thank you. Last talk so much.
No problem, man. Thank you so much again. I can't thank you enough. Uh, Colin, thank you so much. Like this has been great from seeing you online, watching the videos. I don't know. I lost count how many times I watch the videos over the years. So far it's just like, and like I said on a last pod, watching yours, watching Shattered, watching Bloodline, and then also watching the Unworthy stuff.
Hmm.
And it can get all like in my head and like forget like my head just brings everything together as one big
Right.
old movie. Which I love everything about it. But just thank you so much again for doing the
Thank you.
show. Gotta
Thank you.
have you on for something else.
Yeah.
Like
Love
I'm gonna think of something, do a roundtable, something. I don't know. We
that's
figure it out. But thank you so much. And everyone who's listening or watching this, however you are digesting this, please go out and support this man. He's doing the Lord's work.
thank
And yeah, and hit the comments and follow below and all the good stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Uh Same bat time, same bat channel. This is the Bear Night Podcast. Remember to be yourself. No, sorry. Bear it all and be yourself.
awesome.
This is the Bear
Awesome.
Night Podcast.
Have
Thanks,
a,
guys.
thank you.
If
Peace.
you're not listening to the Bear at Night podcast by my good buddy, Jurassic Parker, then you're gonna have to deal with me. I'm such a joy to be around. Also, I will kill you if you don't tune in right this second. This is your old pal, Joker. Or Jack White. It's what my mother called me. Before, you know what, never mind.
You are now listening to BearatNight Podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.